The EU is inexorably morphing from a trade body to an anti-democratic superstate, army and all. In its march, it has reduced once proud sovereign nations to shadows of their former selves. Countries across Europe have given up self-determination in the making of monetary policy, laws, and regulations. Democratically elected governments cannot act in their country's best interests. The euro has wrought havoc with the economies of all its members. Countries on the periphery cannot afford it, and because all euro debt is effectively collectivized, nor can Germany. Unemployment across Europe, especially youth unemployment, is high and rising. There are the ingredients for civil strife. The self-immolation on the altar of net zero is further piling on the pressure. Especially in Germany, which has no sensible energy policy, turned its back on nuclear power and is not succeeding in reinventing its economy away from the internal combustion engine. Borderless Europe has become a hotbed of illegal migration. Legal migration is also through the roof. If we think multiculturalism is not working in the UK, look at the mess in Europe. France is never more than a flash away from interethnic violence. And all of this because the existence of borders hinders the advance of Brussels. EU member states must simply do what Brussels deems to be for the greater good of the EU. And what it deems to be good is mostly deeply damaging. Along with all this damage is now firmly coming the promotion of EU foreign policy. For the EU's interests cannot be fully upheld unless also in the international dimension. In turn, that requires an EU-wide defence policy. The EU's Common Defence and Security Policy, European Defence Union and Permanent Structured Cooperation, PESCO, are all a projection of EU foreign policy through a common interoperable EU-wide military. This is all backed up by an EU weapons development programme through the European Defence Fund. Hearing this may raise the hair on the back of your necks. But it is all happening. The EU is becoming a military power. What should equally concern us is that the UK is sliding into this same structure. Brexit gave us a chance to escape, but we are slipping back into the EU. Sunak and Starmer are both committed Europhiles. The latter has declared the UK will move in lockstep with the EU. Can you imagine any government in the world abrogating self-determination in favour of a foreign power? Well, that is what Starmer will do. We are already members of the European Defence Fund. We have committed, via PESCO projects, not to contravene EU foreign policy. These two first steps will be followed by others. The fact is we should not be complying. We should be opposing it making foreign policy. We should be opposing the creation of an EU military. Nothing good is going to come of European nation-states bowing to an EU army.